Hello and welcome to Digital Scene Gaming. I'm Santosis, and this is another episode of OceanBlock2. Right, we've got a couple of changes. I'll show you those in a second. However, I have made some tinted glass. Tinted glass is blaze ember, which we already knew how to make, and some glass makes tinted glass. Now, I spent quite a long time going over here, putting coal, and then putting the other coal down there, and then getting that. So that's all sorted. Also, so we need to obviously think about a diving suit, helmet, etc. Didn't have any, what do you call it? I didn't have any of the leather stuff that the diving helmet uses. So, or not the diving helmet, but the diving suit. So what I had to do was get some kelp going. And obviously we need some cocoa, or well, not cocoa, coffee. I've got to sort that out. So for the moment, we now have another Argo linked to this, but we have a little kelp farm. So that can grow, all the way to the top, and it produces a few stacks. And then obviously this is all linked to ours, so that it's now, trying to fill up the jars. So we should all be good. Right, we also have this thing, which is clear glass, right? So connected glass, so clear glass. So you put glass in here, and then you take that and you put it in again, and it gives you connected clear glass. And then what I've done is I've basically just made a room. And we found these elevators, so I've used them. We've got tinted glass, which is the dark glass, like tinted glass, all across the top to stop any light from coming in. And as I said, this took a little while to do. And I've also got tinted glass all the way around the outside and a wall here, because the idea is we're going to wall this off, and this is going to be in the mob farm. And then I've got the logic cables coming down to here, so we'll put the mob grinding utilities here. We'll have an import into the system so that everything will be all nice and cool. What I'm more than likely going to do, though, is not import it directly into the system. I will probably have a wall of, probably here actually, or here, but we'll have a wall of drawers where most of the mob stuff goes into, and then we can expand it out so it just doesn't take up to a lot of chest space. And I think this is fairly large. I mean, obviously when I take this off, it becomes very dark very quickly. There we go. And the entire section, apart from this too, but that's why I've got a couple of tinted glass blocks. I'm going to wall that off as well. But yeah, and then if I put 2 blocks down, it gets rid of everything in the room, so it keeps it alive. And then we've got some decorations and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then we just go up, and we're back up top. So yeah, that's what I've expanded out that way. I've also obviously included those in chunk loading as well. Now with chunk loading, I have taken the chunk loader and I've given myself 100 because I was getting sick and tired of trying to pick and choose. So there is a config, and it's the server config. So when you go into world saves, there is a server config folder. Inside there is the one for chunk, or the chunk loading, and you basically just modify that so that it gives you 100, or 75, or 25, 30, or whatever you want to do. But because this is my server, I'm quite happy to chunk load quite a few. And this is growing quite large anyway, so yeah, just added a few more chunks. Now, the other thing that we are going to do is go down. So we're going to build down. So the chunks that we have should be adequate for a little bit. Right, what else have we done since the last time? Ah, yes, this thing. I finally worked out how this bloody thing works. So you create jumbo furnaces in here. Well, you create a jumbo furnace, and then you add more jumbo furnaces in here. So if you put furnaces in there, it creates a jumbo furnace, which is this one, and then you put it in here, and then this thing becomes insane. So if we get a stack of sand, for instance, and then chuck that in there. Right? See this? Just taking a few of those coals, and then all of a sudden, boom, an entire stack. So yeah, that came in quite handy when I was trying to get glass and sand and stuff like that. And I've also created a pocket storage. Now this is really annoying because I created a pocket storage, right, to keep all the stuff that I had in here, and then I went ahead and I got given a tier 2 pocket storage from one of the airdrops. Rather annoying, but you know, we have a tier 3 anyway. Tier 4 is netherite, I think. Or that might actually, the tier 4 might actually be, yeah, never stuck. So we're not quite there yet. If we go into the quests, you can see that we've got pretty much where we were the last time. We've got down to here, and then obviously I've gone ahead and done a bit more down here. We've got that, I don't know what that is, but we've got it. Attached to my soul is optional. I don't know whether it should be celebrated or not. Okay, so with a rose, not entirely. Okay, so spirit fire, we've got to go into occultism anyway. A poppy into spirit fire. Okay, yeah, we can do that at some point. With a roses are pretty good for, you know, giving bits and pieces, so yeah, that would be quite cool. So I think powered pulverizing, maybe getting dizzy, that kind of stuff, we could go down, or we could go down the immersion. I really want a cloche. So I'm thinking that this route here, I mean this one seems to be separate, it's on its own. So we're going to get rid of these. It seems to be on its own. So there was some stuff there. So create or find a garden cloche. Notes on speed. When given water and power, you can grow a single crop, you can find all the seeds. Okay, so the different types of soil. Now obviously we've got a lot of Infernium, so we could probably go down this route rather than the dire route. Although I don't know what dire soil is, so maybe we'll have a look at that as well. But we certainly need power. Yeah, we need power in this. Now, I understand that this obviously produces power, so I'm guessing that that's where we're going to put the cloches, maybe somewhere similar or close to there. Stronger than diamonds? Well, it's used in quite a lot of the more advanced machines, so maybe we should start with that. Which, maybe. What do we got? Okay, maybe not. Oh, there we are. Nickel and diamond in there. Well, that we can actually do. So we got diamonds. So we've got 32 diamonds, and we've got some nickel somewhere. Yeah, there we go. We can do 32. We've got plenty of each. This thing over here has just been chugging along quite happily. So I'm guessing that we will probably need some more power at some point, because this does use quite a bit. Like you see this start to go down soon. Okay, so there's our first one, so we've got that quest done. Now, if we've got that quest, then we could probably go down this route, I would have thought. So pressure tubes, compressed iron ingot. Okay, so I haven't done that. We could go into Ender IO. Grains of Infinity, cobbled deep slate. Now we've got deep slate, haven't we? We've got deep slate somewhere around here. Is it that one? Yeah, deep slate. Which gives us that. Is it that will give us the Grains of Infinity? Do I have a flint and steel? I do. So is it deep slate or cobbled deep slate? I don't know. Oh, we've got an airdrop coming. Cool. Definitely going to go and get these airdrops. They've been really, really good. Okay, so what's this? That's a gate pearl, an Enderman gateway, 5 waves, 10 Enderman loopholes. Okay, well that's not Okay, so that's cobbled. That's deep slate, and then that becomes cobbled deep slate. So let's try cobbled deep slate and see whether that works. Yeah, the loot crates have been, or the actual bits and pieces that we've got from them have been really good. I mean, cardboard box. We've got an ender chest, which is nice. We've got this red alloy wire, which might come in quite handy when we're trying to automate some stuff. Block of fluids. Yeah, that's some decent stuff. Right, is that? Why is that not? So drops 1. Valid blocks is deep slate. No, it is deep slate. I thought it was. Is there a chance of it working, or is it just 1-to-1? Because I would have assumed it's a chance. But, you know, we never know. So, go and shove that in there. I heard that. There we go. Grains of Infinity. Perfect. Okay, so we've got the Grains of Infinity. So we just need to make this now, which is... We've got all of those items, actually. We've got some of that. We'll put some of those in there. Right, what do I need? I need this. I need that. I need... Nope, I need that thing. And then get rid of that one. Okay, there's a chassis. One of these. And then 2 of these. Okay, so we need to make a gear. Bronze, copper, diamond. I'm guessing that there's a wooden gear. And then we use molten cast iron. So, if I grab the cast iron and let that smelt while I go and grab... So we need 4. And we need a gear. So, simplest gear is this one. Let's do that. We will chuck cast iron in there, and we'll take that out and put that in, and then we need to go find our little raft. One thing I do want to have a look at actually is about the ships. So now I need to go south, which is there we go. The ships. I want to have a look at that because I saw a hull. So I'm thinking that there are. It was a pirate thing. Pirate hull or something? Pirate cutter? Something like that. Ooh, an upgrade. Okay. Another solar panel, that's good. Don't feel like waiting. What's that one? Don't feel like waiting. I don't know actually what that is, but is that it? I don't know. Magma walkers. Okay, magma walkers are kind of cool. Okay. I don't know what. Oh, maybe that speed upgrade. Okay, fair enough. Right, let's go back. Just want to try and have a look at a couple of things, I think. Right, let's go up here. Right, so we need to go back. The stuff will have been done by now, so that's cool. Nope. Switch it round. There we go. And then do it. Right, that should give us that. What else? Steel ingots. Not sure that was one of them, was it? Or was it? Actually, was it iron? Or... Yeah, iron gears. Okay. So let's get some iron. Let's just chuck a whole bunch. And then we need to put that to the bottom. And we just need 2 gears. go. 1. Alright, let's get ourselves an alloy smelter. That will come in handy. We need to keep it with the power. Well, we've got power here, but we've also got direwolf power over there. I think I might keep it here for the moment. We need a capacitor card, don't we? So capacitor. So all of these machines require capacitor cards. So it's kind of like essentially having a battery, so that it stores that power and then can release it whenever it needs to. Pain in the arse, but I kind of get why. And also the capacity cards can be increased, so you can have different levels of capacity card. So that is kind of good. Deep slate, cobblestone. Oh, it's... Oh, okay. So the deep slate dies and it becomes cobblestone. Right, that makes more sense now. That makes a lot more sense. Although I did hear a boom. There we go. Rid of that one. That one didn't turn. That one might set alert to these. Probably shouldn't have put it there. Never mind. Let's get rid of it. I need to get rid of some of this stuff. That there. Oh. Well, that's all I needed. I just needed 2. But what did I need 2 for? Oh yeah, the capacitor. The capacitor. We could go double, but we would then need additional items. So we're just going to go with the basic for now. There you go. That's going to charge up from here, so we'll leave that going. That's probably going to steal the power from there, which is not good. Oh, we got a bit more of that. Yeah. Okay, so we now have that one. I'm going to get rid of this stuff for now, because we'll probably just have an automated way of doing that at some point. So let's chuck everything in there. Steel ingots, diamonds, we'll chuck that in there as well. Finished using that for now. That can go in. This can go in there, so that. Alright, so that will give us access to Ender.io, which is good. Ender.io is insanely powerful, so quite happy with that. And then we obviously need to start Mechanism at some point. If we have most of the things for Mechanism, yeah, there we go. Right, okay, we can start Mechanism now. Perfect. Okay, so there's that, and then obviously we need to compression. We'll do a whole thing on getting this section of it. Now a cloche, I know that we need a bucket, so let's throw that bucket in there. We need to get the bucket like so. Oh, I've got another basic card, a basic tier installed as well. Right, okay, so if I do that and chuck that in there, then that gives me this. If I then chuck in a few logs, we should be able to do that. There we go. And then that then gives us, right, so we need planks, we need an engineer's table, which is also planks, and realistically we need a couple of these, so I'm going to grab a couple. Where did it go? There it is. So we'll get, I think we'll get 32 for now. There's, why not? Okay, 32 of the treated planks. We'll take our bucket back. Treated planks. Okay, so we'll get some of them. We will also get one of them, and then we'll leave the rest of those planks there. So we can get rid of that, we can get rid of that. We are going to put this on our hotbar, and then we're going to start making it. So we need one of them. So we need one of them, and one of we need that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that, and then we'll get that. And boom. Okay, so now we've got that. We're going to put this here. We need a blueprint because we need to make a couple of things. We need to make this, which is fairly straightforward. So if I take out that and I put, so I know that we're going to need plates, right? We've got a little bit of iron in there anyway, so I'm just going to make 4 iron. Wow, that was quick. I was not expecting it to be that quick. I was expecting it to be slow. But we only need 4. Alright? And then we need 1 copper ingot in the middle. Like so. So that gives us this part. And then we need this. So we need Lucas. Like so. Let's get 64 of those just to get it done. And then we need 1 of them. So if we do 1 of those. And then we need some paper or bamboo, some glass, and some copper. So, copper, glass, paper or bamboo. Now that's a more difficult one. What have I got more of? I haven't really got more of anything. Or have I? I have, haven't I? Because I've been, there we go, I've been chopping that down. Right, so if we go over to here and we put that in there and then we go boom, 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 then we can create 60 of those. Ah. Do we need 60? Probably not. Energized halfstone. Ah, what's this? Currently unbound. I don't know what that is. Halfstone's channel is the end of the light and struck by it can now be used to teleport to 1 bound location. Okay. Use while sneaking to find. So you mean I can do that, and then I can just go. Alright. There we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. Right, we'll keep that. And we'll put this stuff back in here. Oh, I also did an exchanging gadget. We'll go through that at some point, but right now I don't think it's. Well, you know what? Let's go through it now, because the exchanging gadget is kind of cool, right? So if we exchanging gadget, very simple, very simple. Iron, redstone, gold, diamond, and lapis. But now what we can do is we can replace blocks, right? So if you have it in your inventory, or you have it in pocket storage, so if you look at the polished die rack, so if I take one of those out, and I grab that. Works the same way as a building gadget. You right click and shift right click on the one that you want, right? So that's the block that you are going to take. Now, because I've got this in pocket storage, which this can access, if I just right click, I can just replace 1 or 2. If I press and hold G, I can expand it so that I can pick as much as I want. Now, the other cool thing about this is that I can set the mode, so I can anchor it, I can grow it, I can bind it to an inventory, all that kind of stuff, right? But I could also do fuzzy, which means no matter what brick it is, it will replace it. Now that will be invaluable when we do that. And we make this all look pretty. Which I will do at some point, but I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to. However, we've done this face, so yeah, and then obviously all the bricks that you swapped it with go into your inventory, which is normal. Right, so cloche. Hang on, we got 1. I don't know how much. That's fine. So that's number 2, that's number 3, and that's number 4. We're going to do another one because I would like a whole bunch of closures. I'd like tons of them, but if we can get 2 of them, I'd be quite happy. So glass treated. There we go, and then we put one of them and one of them, and there we go, 2 closures. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to put the rest of the stuff in there because we will do that later. However, we've now got closures. Perfect. That means that we can now grow some really cool stuff. So, yeah. Alright, so now what we need to look into dyer. The dyer? Yeah. So if we go outdoor things, and then have a look at the dirt. Right, so primer gel. Really? It just says leach. Well, that isn't good, is it? Where's the book? There is a book. I know this book. Just Eye Guide, first edition. There we are. Paradox. So, warning, paradox is unstable space-time, event, blah, 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 paradox starting out small. Right, okay. I'm not sure that that's... Alright, well, the miscellaneous stuff. Maybe we can only get it from there. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay. Well... So, the other way that we said we could do it is... this stuff. Inferior. Which is mystical agriculture. So, essentially you take Inferium, and then you make Prudentium, Tertium, Imperium, Supremium, and Awaken. I don't even know what that one is. I've not seen that one before. However, I have seen Insanium, which is up here. It's like the best. It goes from Supremium to Insanium, unless Awakened Supremium is good. I don't even know. I can't even see that. You can't make it easy. So, okay, so yeah, Insanium is probably still the best. Which means that you also get those levels in dirt. Here we go. Look. So farmland, Inferium. Okay, we can make these, and then up to Supremium farmland, and Supremium farmland. If we go to wrong one, we go here, Insanium and Supremium. So Supremium is 4 seconds. Insanium would be 2. Okay, so we'll take all this out. We'll leave 4. But if we take that out, we should have a whole bunch of it already in the system. And let's go to sleep. Right. So, the way that we get to play with this is that we need a couple of things. We need prosperity shards, which we have got, right? We've got tons of those. We need Inferium, and we also need these little crystal things. Where are they? There's a little crystal. There we go. Infusion crystal, and then a master infusion crystal. So a master infusion crystal requires Supremium, and then that doesn't break, but this one only does 1,000 uses. So we're going to grab 2 of these, and then, if I remember rightly, is it 4? Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to make a whole bunch until that crystal breaks. How many uses there? 360. So we're just going to keep going. You see it getting discoloured. Right, okay, so we're going to stop there, and we're going to go and make the next one. We'll take the other crystal, and we're going to put all the Prudentium in there. Because what I want is Insanium right now, yeah? Purely and simply because I want a crystal that doesn't break. That literally is the only reason I'm doing this right now. Because I need a crystal that will not break. So if we can get one, there we go. Right, so that should be enough Supremium to do it, but I need now other pieces. So we need a Supremium gemstone, we've got the Supremium Essence. So a Supremium gemstone is a Prosperity gemstone, which is just diamond and Prosperity shards. And we're going to get a few of them. Like so. And then it's Supremium around it. Perfect. And then Supremium with the gemstone. Perfect. There we go. Nice. Okay, so this now is unlimited. It doesn't break. So we can do this, and we can just keep going. And as you can see, it's a lot quicker. Nice. And then once we've done that, we then take the next stage. There we go. And then the stage after that. So what we want to get to is Supremium or Insanium. So there's Supremium. Now, can we get Insanium? We can. Look at that. That's nice. Okay, so we've got Insanium straight away because we've been collecting this stuff since day one. Now, to make, is there Insanium? Insanium farmland? Maybe there isn't. Maybe I've done something wrong. But farmland. Let's do farm. Oh no, Insanium farmland. There we go. Tier 6. So we can either have farmland or we can sort of mill it or till it. We need 2 of these, so I'm going to put that in there as well. So we've got 2 Insanium farmlands, and now anything that we grow will be 6 or 2 seconds. Anything we put in there will be 2 seconds. So whatever we want to grow quickly, we just shove that stuff in. So, good thing is we've got lots of things that we want to get done and we want to build. So I'm going to build off another section over here, which I think will be power-based area, and we'll do that later. But yeah, this is going to be a power-based thing, and the closures are definitely going to help that. We've also got mob grinding utilities, which we're going to do. I'm going to collect all the resources for that for next episode. But this episode was really a catch-up, and just to make sure that we're set up for the next one. And yeah, as you can see, we're not doing too bad. We've got quite a lot of resources now. And there, look at that, thousands and thousands. So we shouldn't have a problem there. We are still running low on things like, well, not really that. We are still running low on things like seeds and plants and stuff that we really need, like cocoa, not cocoa, coffee, and Neverwort and coffee. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot more stuff to do. Actually, we've done that, so we'll get those. Yeah, we'll move into the next steps, which is probably down this section, I would have thought. Yeah, I think we'll do that, but I'm going to try and set up some closures and tidy up a few things first. And I might build an underground base. Like, we've got that room over there, but what I would like to do is actually drop this thing, but just down, so that we've got space underneath and we can start putting rooms together for power and that kind of stuff. But anyway, rather slow episode. We got quite a few quests done, but yeah, not merely a mental episode, but still cool. And we can get into all this as well now, which is power, asset banks, power, useful machines, sag mills. Oh, that would be cool. Power generation is where I actually want to be. We've got simple fuels. I'd like to get extreme reactors. That would be nice. I might have a look and see what we need to get into that one. I mean, uranium really is kind of where we need to be. But where do we get uranium from? So look, shall we? Sag mill goes uranium, uranium, Oritech, Hydron. I don't know. We'll work that out at some point. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I have. Yeah, this has been a nice episode actually, getting things done. But yeah, like, subscribe, do all that funky stuff. I really appreciate it. Up in Symptosis, you've been awesome. Later.